Today in the Diz List, we discuss our Diz List March Madness.
Welcome to the Diz List, the podcast that lists everything in Walt Disney World. I'm Nick.
And I'm Rob, and welcome to episode 88, where we discuss the first set of Diz List March Madness results, starting with the Magic Kingdom. I think this is another perfect episode where my teacher brain takes over, and not the stats. We'll get to that later, because obviously you teach that, so this is
Right
in your wheelhouse 100%. But I think we need to take a step back, like, again, my teacher brain, looking at the big picture and realize maybe we have some listeners that don't even know what this means. What is March Madness? Can you explain what March Madness is?
If you've been living under a rock for the last 30 plus years.
Some people may have.
So March Madness obviously is, or not obviously, because that's why we're explaining it. March Madness is the basketball tournament that college basketball tournament that basically takes over the world for the month of March.
And if you win, you continue on. If you lose, you're out.
Yeah, lose and go home.
You get one chance.
One shot. One opportunity. See what I did there?
Little Eminem.
Yeah, my knees are weak and arms are heavy. So, honestly, what we decided to do is 4 parks, just like there's 4 sides of the bracket in March Madness, right? There's the, I think it's east, south,
who knows?
Whatever it is. But there's 4 brackets.
Right.
And they're all based in certain locations geographically.
And one goes against 16 or 24 or whatever it is.
Typical bracket
First versus
play.
Last, and then
So
second versus second to last.
So we tried to do some rankings ahead of time, and I posted these on our Instagram stories.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, it was a matchup, and you had 24 hours to see who was going to get it. You know, some people went on a tear and really killed the other team, and other people, there were some upsets. We're gonna have some fun conversations about some upsets that I was kind of shocked about.
And I know you know all the results,
yeah,
because you obviously, or maybe I always say obviously, and it's not necessarily obvious. Nick teaches this at school, so Nick teaches math and stats, and I do art and computer graphics and graphic design, that kind of stuff. So this is completely Nick's wheelhouse here. So he knows all the results, so you're gonna get sort of my live reactions of who has won.
You kind of know.
I do, because I voted.
Right, but I don't think. But you don't know how close the results were.
No, and that's interesting too.
Yeah, they were. I mean, there were some interesting ones here.
And we got quite a bit of votes. That was a question I asked you the other day when we were chatting. I said, "Yeah, how many people are voting for this?" And you're like, "It's quite a few people."
Yeah, I mean, I would love it if we had every one of our followers voting. I mean, that's not realistic.
Yeah, and people are busy, and so people listening, well, I didn't get a chance. Well, okay.
Pay attention for this next week coming up, because we're going to have Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
I think it's Animal Kingdom. Let me just double check. Yes, Animal Kingdom's next.
Okay.
So basically, it depended on the round. Some rounds we had around 200 votes. Other rounds were lower.
And that's entirely dependent on who's on social media what day and is noticing.
Right.
I think there's one round I missed and got the rest of them. I'm pretty sure.
Well, and there are entire people who don't even go to Instagram stories.
Yeah, that's true too, and that's okay. I mean,
but we posted all week, and every day I just basically went in, tallied the results, and posted new ones. So thank you if you did vote and you followed along, because these results are directly from you. There are some hot takes, I think. Certainly ones that I did not expect. So you want to get started, or I know you have something.
I do. I have something, and then we'll go to the halftime show, and then we'll start.
All right.
So I found something online the other day, and people always say, and I'm saying people in quotes, because I mean, there's very specific people we know that are like this, that believe, maybe it's you, Nick, maybe it's not, believe that our phones are listening.
Oh, they are.
And that what we say turns up in different advertising. And
this is not a conspiracy theory. This is real. That's like been admitted. So this is real. That's true. I'm a computer science teacher too, so I can tell you for a fact that's real.
But this is even more interesting
Okay.
because of what showed up in my feed.
Okay.
And it should have been something for you. So you're definitely a bar aficionado. Like, you know, you've been around the country. Like, you know your drinks really well.
Yeah.
So when I'm thinking of that, I'm thinking
That's your way of saying I'm an alcoholic?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that's just something you know well. It's your interest.
I like.
Yeah.
Life is too short to drink bad drinks.
And you and some of our friends have brewed some different things before. I don't know if we've mentioned that on the show. I figured you're okay with people knowing that too.
Yeah, I do some home brewing.
So let's take that world of Nick, right?
Yeah.
And then let's combine it with another funny aspect that, and again, this showed up in my feed. So this means, so you can check your phone now.
Must be I was talking around you.
Maybe, or this just means, let me know when this shows up in your phone. Maybe this just means that I'm talking about this more and it's showing up in his phone right now. And what
the heck?
So do your best to describe. Do you see why I brought in bar? And okay, now explain what you're looking at.
So neon lights, everybody.
That's why I thought, like, it looks like something would be hanging in a bar, right? It's neon light.
It's a neon light,
but
outlined of a bottle. But the bottle is of French's yellow mustard.
This showed up in my feed, and I'm like, did Nick grab my phone and, like, type in a bunch of searches for mustard? But here's the best part. We haven't even said the best part yet. Scroll down. Look at the price.
Oh, $290. I mean, I like me some mustard, but not $290 for a neon light.
And I think I told you the other day, I did order a light for the studio. We
We
have a light coming, and it's not that.
This thing's only 9. It's 9 by 19.
Right. That was the other thing, is look at the size of it. Like, if it were 3 feet high, maybe it would be worth $200.
Yeah, this is like the size of your monitor.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I did not know this was coming. That's funny. And you can hang it with 3M command strips for an extra $10.
My grandfather worked for 3M. I buy everything 3M.
And you can buy a remote control for it for $30. What site is it? It's called Yellow Pop?
Actually, Yellow Pop is legit, though. Like, I've looked up stuff on Yellow Pop. Like, they have relationships with different brands. For example, this is McCormick. So McCormick must own that. They also have Cholula and Old Bay seasoning, neon lights.
Neon lights?
Yeah. If you click on it, if you scroll down, it'll show you the rest of them they have.
So if you're just tuning in to this Disney podcast and you're hearing us talk about,
I think it's funny.
No, I understand. I do think it's funny, and I think most of our listeners would as well. But I'm on the off chance this is your first ever episode,
and you're wondering, what does this have to do with Disney?
Like, trust me when I say this totally tracks.
Our regular listeners are yep.
Okay, so hear me out. If we can get some donations from Patreon
for the mustard.
No, do they have a Hellman's one too, or a Duke's Mayo?
Oh, I haven't even looked yet.
If they do, I'm legit serious that next to the light that you ordered,
we have a light coming that's Mickey Mouse with a thumbs up. They didn't have Mickey Mouse with a mic because I hand drew that logo, so that logo doesn't exist anywhere. But it's close. It's Mickey's glove, thumbs up.
So then we could put mustard on my side of the studio and mayo on your. And, oh my goodness! Yeah, I'll make a new tier on Patreon called the Neon Light Club, and it will be like, all you have to do is buy us this light, and you'll have membership for life. I'm kidding. Or am I? I was expecting him to send me like some link to, I don't know. I didn't like something that I talked about bourbon or something from the Bourbon Trail thing.
No,
but that's funny.
And so Nick walks in today. And I said, I got something for you. Not a setup. I think you're gonna think it's hilarious. Like,
oh, it's funny. That's funny.
I'm not like that. I'm not trying to pull. So we have some friends who are pranksters.
Yeah.
Who we work with, which is fine. I mean, sometimes it's annoying, but in general, like, we got some buddies that love to do pranks.
So we're gonna head off to the halftime show in a moment, but I do want to point out I hung out with that one that you're talking about right now.
Yeah, and he pulled a prank on you.
I hung out with him last night. But
Did you make a fire or something?
Yeah, but I
It's
just
freezing.
No, it wasn't.
How cold was it? 40?
45.
Well, listeners in our in our lower states are probably like, you're nuts.
Yeah. So I just want to point out, if you have a coworker who is really bad with computers, you can buy this thing online. That's a USB that you plug into the computer, and it makes the computer do weird things like just randomly start typing, and the mouse just clicks everywhere. And if your IT people don't know that you plug this in as a prank, the IT people will throw out keyboard after keyboard after keyboard until they find out that you were pranking the person. So that's just a fun fact about what you can do. Anyway, we're going to head off to the halftime show. This week's halftime show is brought to you by our patron, Dwayne. Dwayne is a librarian, actually. So.
Sweet. So we're both of my parents.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said what he does.
I'm a product of 2 librarians.
So that's why I wanted to say what he does. But thank you, Dwayne, so much for supporting the show and listening. We're going to head off to the halftime show. When we get back, we're going to count down, or not count down, but tell you your results from the March Madness at Magic Kingdom. Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about the results of your polls. Speaking of polls,
yeah,
we're all going to be heading to the polls in November.
Yeah.
And I wanted to announce our official endorsement.
Yeah, is our official endorsement as old age as our 2 candidates are?
I mean, they might be, depending on no one really knows. But we are officially endorsing Buzz and Woody.
Is which for vice and which for president?
Buzz for president.
Okay.
He's going to take us from the toy box and beyond.
That's good.
Yeah.
That would make a good shirt.
It would. If you go to magicmerch.art or magicmerch77.etsy.com, you too can wear your campaign shirt. It says Buzz and Woody 2024.
I think I want one for my front lawn too.
Oh man, I should make posters.
Oh my God, I got a funny story. This is actually really good.
Okay.
I think you're gonna love this story. So I have a sign in front of my yard, and you've seen it before.
Allen and Diggs.
It says Allen and Diggs. So it's Josh Allen and Stefan Diggs. They are 2 players for the Bills.
Right.
And it has their names, and it looks like a campaign sign.
Yeah, Allen Diggs 2024.
It's kind of a thing in Western New York.
Yeah.
People have them. I have one in my front yard. We think it's hilarious. There's a local guy who lives down the street, I won't say his name, who runs for office in our town, and he comes by to say, hey, will you support this candidate, or sign whatever. And he goes, by the way, I've been meaning to ask you, who are Allen and Diggs, and what are they running for? Like, dead serious.
He's serious?
Yes, he was serious. I said, well, they're Buffalo Bills players. It's kind of a endorsement for them for the season. He goes, oh, I thought they were running for office. He goes, I was really curious every time I drove by your house who they were and what office they were running for. True story. My wife was there too.
I'm not saying whoever he is should wake up, but he lives in Western New York.
Yes.
And he asked that question.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
A true story. Anyway,
that's hilarious.
But
for
Buzz and Woody for president.
Yeah, for our listeners outside of Western New York, trust me when I say I would bet that 1 in every 10 lawns has either that or the flag or something along those lines.
Some kind of Bills.
Yeah. That's funny to me. So anyway,
Magic. So I figured that's a good story.
We are officially endorsing Woody and Buzz, or Buzz and Woody. Buzz for president, Woody for vice president.
I think Josh Allen's going to be a little busy.
It's actually a fun shirt, so go check that out. Let's go ahead and get started.
Okay.
I'm going to go with some obvious ones. All right. We're going to start with our number 1 seed in the Magic Kingdom bracket was Big Thunder Mountain.
Yep.
And it was paired up against our number 16 seed, Hall of Presidents.
Hall of Presidents was at the very bottom?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
that's your son's favorite thing, isn't it?
It's up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's in his top 5, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I would have to ask him, but probably.
Okay.
So Big Thunder
versus Hall of Presidents.
96% voted for Big Thunder.
Yeah, I was one of those people.
Yeah, I mean, I did too. Big Thunder's my favorite ride there. So, obvious to me, that one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, this one, I was actually kind of shocked about because of the fact that it's so new. Tron was going up against Festival of Fantasy, so the parade, And the parade got a decent number of votes.
It did.
Got 21% of the votes.
That's, well, again, we've had this discussion too, is it has to do with when you've been to the park. I haven't ridden Tron yet because my Disney trip from last year was West Coast, so I have not been to Magic Kingdom since Tron's been open.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think I probably did vote for Tron. I mean, I don't dislike Festival of Fantasy. I actually really like that parade a lot. But I still would probably pick Tron.
There were a lot of people who really actually reached out after I put the votes up and stuff, who were like, Tron is so good. It's so underrated. And I was like, underrated, really? Mm-hmm. And their comments back to me, a couple of the people who had commented back were like, everybody complains about how short it is, but it packs a lot into that short ride. And I agree. I think it's a great ride. So
Tron, 79%?
79% advanced to the second round. Yep.
Okay. All right.
Let's go take a look at one that I was not really expecting.
Oh, I think I know where you're going with this.
So, Happily Ever After.
Yeah.
The Fireworks Spectacular was matched up with Jungle Cruise.
Oh my gosh, this is, I don't want to give it away. Go ahead, I'll let you.
Jungle Cruise got 49% of the vote. And it was like right down to it was a nail biter.
Wow.
Like, it was, I think, like 7 votes different.
Jeez.
Something like that. It was not, it was super close. Happily Ever After beat Jungle Cruise. To me, that's a huge upset.
Man.
Fireworks over the Jungle Cruise. Now, you know my feelings about Jungle Cruise.
Yeah, you don't love it. I mean, I don't love it either, but it's like my dream job.
I think
working on the Jungle Cruise.
I think it depends on like it really does depend on who the person is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, no shocker here. Pirates of the Caribbean beat out Country Bear Jamboree 95-5.
Yeah, and obviously those are two of my favorite rides, but if I were to pair the two of them up, as much as I love Country Bears, I would have gone with Pirates too.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of obvious, I think, but
you know, everybody has their own favorites, and
yeah,
I don't know. I prefer dark rides, roller coasters, things like that. Those are my...
Speaking of favorites,
yeah,
this one was a tough one because I put this matchup and you had to pick which one was best, right? Which one was better? Haunted Mansion versus Meeting Mickey at Town Square.
I like both.
And it's tough because, like, if you are going to be there one time, if you're only going to Disney one time.
Yeah, you were going to want to meet Mickey in some way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But 91% voted Haunted Mansion, which I agree with.
Yeah, and I did too.
91% voted Haunted Mansion. But the fact that there are 9% of the people who said,
no thanks.
No thanks. I'd rather go meet Mickey.
Well, maybe they're people who are not fans of things that are scary. And there's a decent chunk of people who, I mean, it can be scary in there.
Yeah, or they just don't like dark rides, or they don't like, I don't know. Yeah.
Some people just don't like to be scared.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those people.
What the heck happened here? I must have put, instead of percents, I put votes down for this one.
Oh, for People Mover?
Yeah, People Mover. So People Mover beat Space Mountain by 10 votes. Mm-hmm. So People Mover so they only beat, it beat out Space Mountain, which...
That's an upset.
Is it?
I do. I think so.
I don't think so.
I know you like People Mover, but I think if you were to poll your average Disney guest at the park, that you're not going to find that People Mover wins. I think the people like us that are a little bit bigger than your average fan who actually will listen to a podcast about Magic Kingdom would vote that way. But I think if you were to poll everybody in the park one day, I don't think People Mover wins.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Let's just say average fan versus us who are
here's my take.
Higher interest. We'll say it that way. We won't call ourselves crazy.
Here's my take. If this was People Mover versus Space Mountain Disneyland, Space Mountain wins.
Yeah.
I think the issue is that Space Mountain is rough right now.
It's clunky.
Yeah.
I love it here too, but it's one of those things where, you know, you're getting a burger at Burger King your whole life, and then you go have one at, like, you know, your tavern in town, and you're like, whoa, this is what a burger should taste like, you know?
Yeah. I will never not ride excuse me, I'll never not ride People Mover. But
It's fun. I love it. It's relaxing.
But I could see myself skipping Space Mountain. So I don't know.
I'll be honest, I put Space Mountain over People Mover, and I do love People Mover, but it's close for me as well. But I am still a guy that likes the faster, wilder rides. It doesn't mean I dislike it. It's very, very close for me. I like both.
Well,
but if I have to pick one, that's what I would choose.
Okay, I get it. Let's slow things down. In fact, so slow
Yep.
that it doesn't even move. Well, it kind of moves.
Well, one of them spins.
Yeah.
It's like a record player.
Carousel of Progress and Tiki Room got matched up together.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's actually a great matchup.
It is.
Tiki Room, Carousel of Progress.
Carousel of Progress won 55% of the vote, over 45% for Tiki Room. I was kind of shocked with this one. I thought that Tiki Room would murder Carousel of Progress. Not because I like Tiki Room. I voted Tiki Room.
Okay. I voted Carousel of Progress.
So,
and I have a reason though, but go ahead.
Well, I love Carousel of Progress.
Me too. And I love Tiki Room.
But I think Tiki Room is the better of the two, and I think it's more nostalgic Disney.
Correct. I'm not disagreeing with that at all.
I was just really shocked that Carousel beat it out.
I would pick Carousel only because it's an interactive one for me where I can clap and sing and be loud and obnoxious, and it's okay to be obnoxious at that point. Then I have to be quiet again. Yeah. So when you clap and you sing "It's a Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow," like you and I both were singing at the top of our lungs, "It's a great big," we're clapping.
And, for sure.
But I love stuff like that. That's why I like Country Bears. Country Bears starts and everyone's quiet, and then I start stomping my feet. Well, it doesn't do anything because it's on concrete, and clapping, and like that stuff is fun.
Well, Country Bears got absolutely destroyed.
Absolutely.
By pirates. So 95-5.
Anyway, I'm just telling you that's why I picked that.
I was just shocked that it was. To me, Carousel was the higher seed, but I thought Tiki Room would win. I honestly did, and for a little while, it looked like it was going to.
It was close.
55-45. So it was probably
it
couldn't have been much more than like 12, 13 votes.
Yeah.
Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
Mm-hmm.
This one shocked me. Not because it didn't. So Seven Dwarfs versus It's a Small World.
Yep.
This one shocked me not because of who won, but I thought that like Seven Dwarfs would just run away with this.
Mm-hmm.
And Small World gave a fight. 79-21.
We each have one person in our family who it's their favorite ride, number one, which is probably, I would guess, rare, but that's my wife's number one ride. And that's your daughter's number one favorite ride.
Yeah.
Your wife too, maybe?
No.
Definitely your daughter's favorite, right?
Yeah, I would say my daughter's favorite is that. I would say that.
Yeah, my wife's too.
So but that takes care of the first round. So if you're keeping track, here is who made it out of the first round. We now had Big Thunder facing Carousel of Progress. We've got People Mover facing Seven Dwarfs, Tron versus Haunted Mansion, and Pirates versus Happily Ever After. So let's just start at the top here. Big Thunder versus Carousel. I don't think this was even a fair matchup.
No, and that's okay.
Big Thunder rolled through 82-18. People Mover versus Seven Dwarfs. This was closer, and again, I accidentally put the votes and not the numbers, but I can do that quickly in my head and tell you that People Mover got 40% of the vote versus Seven Dwarfs. That was actually really respectable.
Yeah, that's closer than I would have guessed.
Yeah. Tron, this one I got a lot of I had a lot of people.
This is a crazy matchup. Tron versus Haunted Mansion.
And
that's a hard one.
I got a lot of people who said that. This is really difficult for me.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I love Tron, but Haunted Mansion's the OG.
Yeah.
So they went with Haunted Mansion. Haunted Mansion won 65-35.
Yeah. And again, this goes back to your background with statistics is there's probably a chunk, I don't know what the chunk is or what percentage that is, of people who haven't ridden it. So someone like me, and I am part of that percentage, who hasn't ridden it, but I'm also a weird part of that because it's my literal number one favorite ride in all of Disney World. So it's hard for me to really want to pick anything else other than Haunted Mansion because it's my favorite, but maybe Tron, I ride it and I go, that's the best. That's the best ever.
I think Tron's a better ride. I think that Mansion is the one that you kind of, you have to just love it.
You do.
Like, I don't.
And part of it's a longer experience. You get to absorb it, and you get to be immersed in it for a longer period of time.
It's more quintessentially Disney.
Yes.
Than Tron is.
Correct.
So for me, I think that's part of it. But Tron is it's a rock solid ride. This next one, Happily Ever After. Sorry, your slipper fell off. You are not going. You're not the Cinderella team. You're not going to make it to the Sweet 16. And so, Happily Ever After lost out to Pirates, 82% to 18%.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But that set up a huge Final Four
gosh.
So this is not really the Final Four, but it's a Final Four at Magic Kingdom. This, you don't want to talk about big hitters.
Yeah.
But our listeners got it right, I think.
Yeah.
If you look at these, it's got Big Thunder versus Seven Dwarfs.
Yep.
And Haunted Mansion versus Pirates. You want to talk about...
It came out where I wanted it to come out.
Well, you just spoiled it.
What? No, I'm saying these four are what I wanted to happen in the Final Four.
This is... And I'm going to tell you, I kind of screwed up by putting Magic Kingdom first because I don't think that there's a park that can compare with these as far as these rides go.
Or even a Final Four.
Yeah, this Final Four is insane. But I wanted to do it by park because there's 4 brackets. We're going to do it by park. And this is insane. Like the numbers that came out, I think they're right. So Big Thunder versus Seven Dwarves. Let's have a conversation about this before we even talk about the numbers.
Sure. So train versus train.
Yeah. So the fact that they both met up, they're both trains, right? They're both roller coasters. They both are thrilling roller coasters. One's IP based, one is not. For a kid, what do you think is the better ride?
For a kid, I would say Seven Dwarfs because there is animatronics along the way.
Okay. Which one do you feel is more thrilling?
Big Thunder.
Okay. They both have carts. Think about the parallel.
Yeah.
They both have carts that kind of move weird, right?
Yep.
So you're going in Big Thunder, it kind of clickety clacks and they rotate a little bit.
Yeah.
And then with Seven Dwarves, obviously they kind of swing and sway. They're both about mining. When this came out, I was like, whoa, I didn't even plan for this. I don't think anybody would be surprised, but Seven Dwarves lost out to Big Thunder.
It did.
And you know what? I think they got it right. It was 75-25, which is a good split. But Seven Dwarves it's a short ride. It's not
That's
a long
exactly what I was just going to say.
It's not a long experience.
It's the same thing with when we said Tron versus Haunted Mansion is it's a longer experience. I know at least off the top of my head, there's at least 2 climbs. You know what I mean? When you're on a roller coaster and you climb up and they drop you again. I know there's at least 2 of them, maybe more. But anytime that they do that, generally it extends the ride a little bit more. And
now, would you have predicted that outcome?
75-25, Thunder Mountain winning. No, I would have thought it would be closer. I would have predicted Big Thunder to win, but I would have said more along the lines of 55-45.
Now I want you to step back. And if you're a casual observer of Disney, and all you knew about Disney was wait times, now do you expect it to win?
Yeah, good point.
That's what's amazing to me, right?
Right. With the wait time, it's got to be the best thing ever, and it's got to win by a mile.
75-25 is what Big Thunder won by.
I wonder what... You know what? I'm going to look up the average wait time as you're talking here.
75-25, that is to me, that's like a blowout, right? You got some votes, but you got blown out of the water. And if you look at wait times, people are willing to wait 90 minutes or more for Seven Dwarfs. They rope drop it. And yet, what's the better ride? And I think the people got it right. My point is, this is why I don't wait in line for Seven Dwarfs. I'll do it in my extended evening hours or whatever they want to call those hours for the deluxe resort guests, or I'll maybe rope drop it depending on the day, or I will I certainly won't pay for an individual lightning lane, but like it's, it's a long wait usually. And it gets up there with Peter Pan. I mean, it's up there, which,
jeez, I'm looking at a website that has the most extensive like stats for each day.
Is it theme park data?
Wait, it might be.
Yeah.
Thrill data.
Yeah.
That's really interesting website there.
So, but I'm shocked by that one. Now, Mansion versus Pirates.
Mm-hmm.
Mansion versus Pirates. This one was hard.
I figured this is what it would have been.
The number of people who, after they voted, commented like, "Why are you doing this to me?" Because making you choose between Mansion and Pirates,
it's hard.
If the other one was about thrill seekers and this one's about Disney purists,
it is because again, these two match up.
These are OGs, man.
They're both dark. They're both skeleton based.
Yeah, they're both
like scary.
Yeah,
and,
they both have spawned an entire movie franchise.
Yeah.
So Haunted Mansion won 55-45, which I know made you super excited.
Yeah, it definitely did.
But
That's the way I voted.
We canceled each other's votes out because I voted for Pirates.
Okay.
I love Pirates. The smell in Pirates just makes me happy.
Yes.
Like that sulfur smell you get from the match, like that match smell. You know what I mean? From the cannonballs and the fires. I just love that ride. So for me, it's Pirates. But I don't think anybody got it wrong. I mean, it's not.
I wouldn't have had an issue or, quote unquote, thrown a fit if Pirates won. If it was Pirates 55, Mansion 45, and it were flipped, I'd go, okay, that makes sense. Because any of these four, well, I don't know. I guess if Mine Train won, I would be surprised. These two I wouldn't, because they're both like heavy hitters.
Yeah. And this was
both great.
This was this is a specific niche, right? The dark ride thing. And I think they're both really good. I think probably where people got or would prefer Haunted Mansion is that it has both the scary parts and then the funny parts, right? When you're in the graveyard, all the funny, like.
But so does Pirates.
Yeah.
The lady running with the broom, or the drunk guy with the pig, or coaxing the dog to give the keys.
True.
I think they're even. Like they're even.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely. Yes, I do think they're even, but they're not, because our listeners said Mansion won, which set up one of the most insane battles.
Yeah.
Between Big Thunder and Haunted Mansion. And I didn't write down.
Those are our final two.
Those are our final two. I didn't write down the numbers. So let me just go ahead and pull up the numbers.
Sure. So it's a very difficult one, because now where do you go? Do you go your thrill seeker and you like the excitement and you're the adrenaline person and you want to do Big Thunder? Or are you someone who likes to be scared and the dark ride and being immersed into that world? It's no secret what my vote is. I'm going to guess your vote is probably Big Thunder. So
we wiped each other out.
Again, we cancel each other out. And I don't see either of these votes as wrong. I don't, if Big Thunder wins, cool. Mm-hmm. Deserves it. Great ride. Haunted Mansion, I feel like you would say the same thing. You would go, cool, makes sense, great ride. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Did you know who won, right?
No.
You don't? Oh, I thought you knew.
I do.
Okay.
You told me at work at school.
Okay.
Yeah. You told me before we left on Friday, I think. You came in and showed me the winner.
Big Thunder got 55% of the vote.
Yeah.
And this was, if the other rounds I got maybe 3 or 4 people to comment once in a while, this particular vote, I had like 8 people reach out that were like, this is awful of you. Like, why would you do this?
It is hard.
Like,
it's hard, but it's hard for me for 2 seconds. And I go, oh, that's a tough one. Meh. Then I vote.
Someone said, this is like picking between my children. And I was like, well, you got to pick. The answer is always the oldest.
I will tell you this: if it were, if we were to do Pirates versus Big Thunder, it would be much harder of a choice for me. That would be harder for me. And I would probably go with Big Thunder if that were the choice. But having my favorite in there, it's meh. Of course, that's what I'm going to go with. But
I love Big Thunder Mountain, but I also love Haunted Mansion. This was not easy, even though Big Thunder is my favorite ride currently at Magic Kingdom. This was tough. Mm-hmm. It's like if I go and Big Thunder is down, or if I go and Haunted Mansion is down, which one would be more disappointing for me? And that's what I have to think about. And it's like, man, it's tough.
So if we do this again next year, which we could, right? We're going to have a new one. I mean, Tron could be higher, because more people would have ridden it.
Yep.
But everything is going to be different with Tiana. Tiana could make it to the final four. Final two could win.
Well, and I want, so the way we did this, the way we figured out who was going to go where, we ranked stuff, and then I kind of averaged them and did some stuff statistically to give them ranks. So there are some that missed out, like Peter Pan didn't even make our top 16, just because of the way things shook out. Because we did everything. We did meet and greets. We did happily ever after. And I had thought about doing just fireworks spectacular, but I decided no, I'm going to go with what you can do right now, because that's why Splash Mountain we didn't even put on there, because it doesn't exist.
Currently available.
So I think the people got it right. I really do. I think the people got it right.
Yeah, I do too.
The top four are really good rides, right? You have Pirates, Mansion, Seven Dwarfs, and Big Thunder, and I think that's right. If you go back in the top, the winners is Big Thunder, then Haunted Mansion, then Pirates, then Seven Dwarfs, and then the next after that was Tron.
Yep.
Or no, sorry, yeah, Tron. So I think they're right. Honestly, and I do think that more people who ride Tron that vote would turn out differently. Maybe not, but I really, really love Tron, but maybe people really don't like it.
Yeah.
So of the roller coasters at Magic Kingdom, I think that Big Thunder's the best. Then I would probably go Seven Dwarfs, then Tron, then Space Mountain. So leaving Space Mountain off this list for the listeners isn't that shocking to me.
This is kind of a crazy one.
Yep.
Would any of your choices change if let's say Tron was doubled or tripled? Let's say
the length?
Let's say Seven Dwarfs Mine Train was doubled. Now think about those rides and think about longer immersion in that world. Would it change for you?
Yeah, Seven Dwarfs, no. Tron, maybe.
Yeah. Imagine Tron 2.5 times longer.
I would like Tron to be more stuff inside.
Sure.
So the outside part is great, but honestly, it's better if you're at night. And I've never ridden it at night. I mean, I've been told it's better at night. It's got to be because it's all lit up.
Sure.
The indoor stuff is cool because of all the neon. I think what would be really cool is if it was. So there's a part in that ride where you're driving against the other team, right? I think it'd be cool if it was one of those dueling coasters.
Universal has one of those.
Right. And they're putting another one in.
Yeah, the new Universal also has that too.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that'd be really cool. That's a good question. If it was longer, what would I feel like? I don't know. I think that this next year becomes harder because Splash is way up there for me.
I think Tron, to answer my own question, I think if you make Tron 2.5 times longer, I think Tron makes your final four. I mean, imagine if they do more with,
I'm going to be honest with you.
It's called the grid where they go in and they're in the video game and all that. If you incorporate more of that and indoor and more vintage video game-ish type graphics.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know that you could do long, it is intense.
Yeah.
From start to finish, you are holy cow, this thing is whipping me. And not in a bad way. It is so fast, so intense that honestly, I don't know if I could do another 2 times longer. Like it, and I'm saying that in all sincerity.
Sure.
It is intense. There's not really a slow part of that ride, except for when you're loading or whatever. When not loading, when you're
Launching?
Yeah, they bring you into launch.
Is it a launch since you don't have a climb? Because it's
go
not,
from 0 to 60 and
of course it's gravity based. It's all physics, but I'm assuming it's more like Rock and Roller Coaster where they have, I don't know if it's magnetic or what it is.
I believe it's magnetic propulsion. Yeah,
that's what I thought.
It is. Yes. So you come into the room, and like that's where when you're doing the load room, like there's the frosted glass, and the frosted glass clears, and it shows you like a group of people down below on their bikes, and then you hear 3, 2, 1, and then it just launches them. And when I say they launch, you're flying.
That room looks similar to the Guardians launch room or the Guardians load room. Do you feel like
no?
Okay,
no. It's when you do this, you're gonna be like, whoa! It's everything from the lockers that they have you put your stuff in to the whole like. I thought at first watching walkthroughs that it didn't look that cool. Doing it, it's like, oh wow, and it's just intimidating walking up to it. It's an amazing part of the park walking through there. The fact that you can now walk from Storybook Circus to Tomorrowland is just really kind of a cool thing.
Yeah,
and it's a really nice spot. It's like,
is it around behind Barnstormer there?
Yes,
that's where it connects.
It's exactly where it is. Yep.
And the train goes under, or do you go under the train?
What do you mean when you're walking?
Yeah, do you walk up over the train?
Yep.
Okay.
So I will also say this: it is. People have asked in the past, "Hey, could you tell us some places where you like to go to cool off, or like take a break?" Like that's a question that we've been asked before, and I've replied to people about that. This is my new spot. There are benches along the way, and you can sit underneath that shade structure where the
awning. What do you call it?
I don't know, whatever the heck that thing is that the ride goes under.
The web.
Yeah, you can sit under that, so you're not getting blasted with sun, and you can feel the breeze of the things going. I'm not making this up.
No, it's cool.
You can sit there, and I'm telling you, it's a cool spot because you hear people screaming because of the ride. You've got the sounds, sights, smells of the park, and you're not getting blasted by sun. It is the largest umbrella in all of Disney World, basically. And you can sit there, and if it's raining, perfect place to be.
Yeah, good point.
Like I'm telling you, it is a really cool spot.
Cool.
I can't wait for you to go to experience it. Those are the things that I think that are unsung about adding this attraction is the ambiance it really feels like you're in Tomorrowland. Whereas the rest of Tomorrowland feels like yesterday. Like,
yeah, I hear that a lot.
You know what I mean? Like I mean, that's not wrong, right?
Well, Disneyland, it's even worse.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's pretty beat. And it was really the not so great part of Disneyland. It was a little dirty and wasn't as futuristic as I would have liked it to be. But to be fair, Space Mountain is the crown jewel of that area, and that ride is gold at this point. They just need to, I don't know, remodel it a little bit.
Yeah, I think we could do that. But the problem is they got to shut it down.
Yeah.
And when you shut it down,
it goofs capacity.
Nothing's going to get done until after they've either expanded or, Tiana's opens back up. So we'll see. I have no idea, honestly, what that's going to be like when they reopen that. And you can only guess what they're going to do. They keep saying they're going to add on.
They're putting an Avatar somewhere. Did they say it was that park, or did they say it was going to be in California Adventure? Because they announced they're putting an Avatar somewhere in California.
Right. Yeah, but I'm talking about in our Magic Kingdom. But yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant there.
No. I'm just saying I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens with all these refurbishments.
Well, we're going to get a much clearer picture in August.
I think it's going to be sooner.
Do you think so?
You're talking about when Tiana's opens?
No, I'm talking about when they announce what's happening with the park. I do agree Tiana's is going to be earlier. I'm hoping it's earlier so the both of us get to ride it this summer. You're going July, we're going August.
I'm gonna predict something that is really aggressive.
Let's hear it.
Memorial Day.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, you've seen the pictures.
I know.
I don't know what else they've got left to do.
Let's talk about it in Patreon.
Yeah, let's do that.
Cool.
But that's my aggressive prediction. So this has been fun. This week we're going to be putting up the Animal Kingdom ones.
Great.
So make sure you're going over to Instagram. Let me count the days here. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I guess I could technically hold off till Wednesday. That would be a tight squeeze for me. So, if you're hearing this, you're going to probably miss out on the first round. I'll probably start the round on Tuesday.
But they can jump in on Wednesday.
Correct. Yeah, you can jump in whenever. But go check out our Instagram. Follow us if you're not, so you can see those stories pop up on your feed. Head over to patreon.com/dizzlesspod. You can follow us there. And then don't forget to check out magicmerch.art, where you can buy your shirt to support not only us, but support Buzz and Woody in their run for the White House.
I think they have a good chance.
Yeah, they're taking us to the toy box and beyond.
Yep.
All right. Well, it's been a great, big, beautiful tomorrow, and tomorrow's just a list away.
Tune in next time, and we'll see you real soon.